fall harvest season is upon us, we take a look at the importance of our local farming community.
We are at Fertile Ground Farm. We're a diversified vegetable operation in St. Agatha, just about 20 minutes west of Waterloo. And we grow about 30 different types of vegetables. We sell primarily through the Community Shared Agriculture Model, CSA. So households become members of our farm for the season, and then we give them a variety of vegetables each week based on what is fresh and delicious week by week through the season. We started the CSA here in 2008 with just 20 members. It was very small, and we're up to about 350 households at this point that get their vegetables from us. And that runs from, we have a main season that runs about 19 weeks through kind of what you think of as peak vegetable season, June through about now. But then we do fall shares with storage crops. We do spring shares with greens. We have storage crops through the winter months so we can feed people almost year round. Being a farm that is direct to consumer or direct to eater, I think there's a certain satisfaction in just being able to literally hand the food to the people who are going to eat it and see their excitement or hear their questions. You know, we grow some things that aren't necessarily on people's radar until they start buying food from us. We grow kohlrabi, we grow tatsoi, we grow daikon radish, we grow a whole host of vegetables beyond carrots and potatoes and lettuce and onions. The reason we grow such a diversity of vegetables is essentially twofold. One is that if we are going to be feeding people for as much of the year as we can, we have to find vegetables that thrive in some of the shoulder seasons. So we find some greens that will grow really well in the early spring or late fall, when lettuces are just too tender and they succumb to the frost and the cold. So we find some hardier greens. So there's lots of crops that we grow that sort of fill some pockets in the season that otherwise people would have to be eating imports. So that's one of the reasons. And the other is that different vegetables do well each year. And so if we only grew 2 or 3 different crops and we had a crop failure, what would we do? We would lose money that year. How would I pay my staff? Having the diversified production means that there's always something doing well. And so it makes our business a lot more economically viable. And it ensures that people will have an interesting diet to eat from week to week. What I want people to know is how important this farmland is. Waterloo region is so special in that we have farmland that butts right up against our residential areas. We can produce food that can be on someone's table in literally half an hour. This is not something that most cities in Ontario, in Canada, have access to. It's so special. We have an opportunity here in Waterloo region to be a bridge between urban and rural communities. There's an ever-growing divide in Canada and North America between these communities, and I think that Waterloo has such a special opportunity to help us understand each other's perspectives. When we think about farming, often what we picture are big tractors and big row crops. We picture corn, we picture soy, we picture wheat. And it's true that a lot of those crops are bases to our diet, or they're the feed for animals that are a basis to our diet. And those crops need to be grown at a certain scale in order to be profitable. But there is so much that we can produce on small land bases. And find ways to support small-scale farmers. They're the ones who are hiring local people. They're the ones who are paying fair wages. We pay a living wage here. There's not many farms that are able to do that. Find ways to support that because it's the only way it will continue to exist.